I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good day, Haley Winter. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful day?
I'm doing excellent. The sun is shining over here in Oakland, and I'm enjoying it.
Oh, that's great. Great pleasure to connect with you the second time around. The first time we connected, Skype did something that was pretty weird, but guess what? We're getting it done.
That's right. That's right.
Oh.
We can be determined. They won't stop us.
Exactly. Ooh, it sounds like a song right there. They won't stop us. There we go. Yeah, they won't stop us. There we go. Well, Haley, tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time.
Well, I think it's a combination of two talents, really. The first being massage therapy, because I'm a massage therapist, body worker. I've been doing that for about 10 years. And I recently started a massage and bodywork podcast. So the two of those combined has brought us together.
Yeah, amazing stuff going on that podcast. I remember just like it was yesterday, that guy that was on the podcast and his voice, like, I mean, kudos to him, right? Like he could put Gary V to sleep.
I think he should have a second career of making children's tapes to get kids to fall asleep, because I think he'd do a wonderful job.
I would invest in that, hands down. Yeah. So who did you learn the skill of? Well, let's do podcasting first, and then we'll do what you do via massage.
Okay, so the podcasting is actually very much self-taught. I did consult with a few friends who had experimented with podcasts, but YouTube is a fantastic tool.
It is.
You can really educate yourself. One of my most recent guests on the podcast was talking about education. He said, never let school get in the way of your education, and education is free. It's the certification that costs money. So if you want to learn something, the information is out there and you can go get it. And that's kind of what I did with podcasting. I really just did a lot of searches and watched a lot of people messing up and doing it right, and eventually it came together for me.
Now tell us about, before we go into, well, yeah, I guess it connects. So how's the pressure?
How is the pressure? I mean, it's going wonderful. I've been doing massage for 10 years, and I felt really good being able to give my skill and myself to my clients. But I realized that there was a greater need in the industry as a whole for body workers. We work with people one-on-one, but we don't really have like a gathering center where we all can come together and share resources, at least not in a free way. Sometimes there's Facebook groups here and there, but not really. It's not really providing access to like the top level experts and teachers. So what I do is I interview, the leaders in our field, and I give it away, the content to all the body workers out there, and it's really they've really received it very well, because I think it's something needed. We want to feel like we're doing something together, and this is an opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Well done, my friend. I love what you're doing. Love the conversation. Love the value I got. So, folks, just in case you didn't catch it, and the name of the podcast is How's the Pressure?
It took a while to come up with that name.
Yeah, it's a fascinating name. So, tell us how you came up with it, because on the previous conversation we did speak about that briefly, didn't we?
Yeah, I struggled with it for many months, actually. You come with the initial names like Massage Talk or Bodywork Banter, and it all kind of sounds cheesy and kitschy, and it didn't really have like the essence of what bodywork is. And also this podcast is interview style, and I want it to be an inquiry. And so my wife was talking to me, and she said, well, what is the thing you ask your clients the most? And of course, the thing I ask the most is, how's the pressure? Every time you go into a session, how's the pressure? How's the pressure? So my students and my clients get a kick out of it, because whenever I ask it, they of course kind of chuckle a little bit, knowing the backstory.
Yeah, which is a great idea. Kudos to your wife. You obviously married up, which is good.
Yes, I did indeed, and as we should all strive to do.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Well, tell us why you will continue to do what you're doing by sharing the information, creating the platform that you're creating for the masseuse industry. Is that a thing? Is it like the masseuse industry?
Well, it's technically the massage therapy industry.
Industry, all right.
Masseuse is a specific title for French massage therapists,
Wonderful.
and in particular, female French massage therapists.
Oh, really?
Masseur is male massage therapist. Masseuse is female massage therapist, and it's a French term, and that is where a number of techniques started for a few bodywork modalities. So there is the kind of an overlap there, but the majority of massage therapists that you'll meet in the world will identify either as a massage therapist or as something more specific under that umbrella, a particular modality that they work with, like shiatsu or deep tissue or Feldenkrais. A number of modalities fall under the bodywork label. So.
Amazing audience. You're understanding what's going on here. It's like the encyclopedia of what is massage therapy. Like, it's like tremendous value. I think it isn't just for those that are the providers of the service, but it's really good because we as the customers, it's good to hear these things and even what's new as well.
Yeah, well, it's important to be educated about not only your body, but how to take care of yourself. And learning the different ways in which you can take care of yourself is a big piece of getting older and staying healthy. So learning these titles, whether it's the specific kind of doctor you're going to see or the specific kind of massage therapist or specific kind of physical therapist can be very helpful.
Tell me one other thing that you've done, Haley, consistently over the last 3 years.
For me, it's been to stay active. I came out of I was a professional athlete before I became a massage therapist, and staying engaged in the physical world is really important to me. So whether that's doing body work, of course, which is very physical. I love to cook. I love to play basketball. I garden in my backyard. I make bread from scratch. All these things I'm engaging with the physical world, usually with my hands, but really with my whole body. And I think that's the biggest thing I've done consistently over the last 3 years is use my body.
How does that make you feel?
Energized, refreshed, grounded. When I'm using my body, I'm able to connect with the world around me, and that lets me feel kind of okay in my place in the world. Because oftentimes if I'm disconnected, I spend too much time up in my head, and that way madness lies. So
why would you suggest, I like how you said that way madness lies. Why would you suggest to someone that's listening that they do what you've done?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because when you spend enough time in your head, you can end up talking yourself into circles. And I've only experienced one panic attack in my life. And it actually happened last year around, not to be surprised here, the election, our presidential election. And I realized what happened is I retreated inside, and I spent a lot of time thinking about the implications and just circling in my head. And I was stationary. I was in the corner of a public area, and I just kind of retreated into that corner and just started thinking and thinking and thinking. And I worked myself up until I was actually in a full-blown panic attack, which didn't look like much from the outside, but tell me, it was very uncomfortable. It's very.
I can well imagine. Yeah, it's amazing, right? It's like, how's the pressure, right? That simple question can help relieve so much, right? I think the thing that you've created there is so powerful, because had someone come and said, "Hey, Haley, hi, are you okay? How's the pressure?" You would have gotten the opportunity to release. And I think even what you do through massage therapy is that, right? The opportunity for an individual to release the tension. So again, amazing stuff right there. Well, amazing audience, we are live with Haley Winter. He is the podcast host of How's the Pressure. Do check that out. Haley, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful warm blue Caribbean water. Haley, what is your earliest childhood memory?
My earliest childhood memory was, I think I was in kindergarten, and I was looking up at the sky at a recess time. So it's like a break between classes. And I just saw the blue sky and a couple of clouds passing by. And that's my earliest memory that I can recall, actually.
How old do you think you were?
Well, it was kindergarten. Must have been about 5 years old. About 5.
Why do you think this memory is so clear? And can you connect it to who you are now?
I feel like that memory is really clear because I made a conscious choice to make a memory in that moment. I'm not exactly sure what inspired me to do it at that time because it's the first time that it happened. But knowing myself now, I would say that I was finding myself really enjoying that moment of freedom in the yard outside school and not wanting it to end. And maybe I just said to myself, if I can save a screenshot of this memory, this moment, I can take it with me. And
That's
so
amazing.
I
Wow.
think that's probably what I did.
It's intriguing, isn't it? Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Sure.
I love the idea of the pressure that is in that picture where there is a time frame as to where the enjoyment stops, right? So it's recess time, and of course it's a set time, so you have to get back into the classroom. But it's fascinating that you would look up and find a way to create a release, if you would, of the pressure that you would have. Well, it's not necessarily a pressure like it's really terrible back in class, but just the idea of not being able to have the fun at your maximum ability, right? And but to see you look up and just see the vastness of everything that does exist and find calmness in that. It is fascinating how now you are the individual that is providing that calmness to others through your touch and through your skills, the way you apply it.
That's an interesting connection. I did not make that one before, but there seems to be a kernel of truth there. I do think that the calmness that I go about my daily life and that I use when I'm connecting with myself and the world is something I do impart to my clients. So that does make some sense. Yeah.
Yeah, you keep doing that and let's see where that goes. Like, ensure that during your day you either look up or whatever it is you do to get that peace. But yeah, just start hacking and doing it even more, right? Like, why not, right?
Why not?
Why
That's
not?
what we're here.
Why not? Well, my friend, if we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
There was I want to say a grunge group called Green Day, and they had a song called Longview.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
it's amazing how these things connect, right? I mean, the Green Day, the sky, and the long view you took of the sky. Amazing, right?
Not
Well, Healy, we have now arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Healy?
I'm ready.
Healy, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I have.
Are you married?
I am.
Do you have children?
I do not.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I have some close friends, but they're not a circle of each other. They don't know each other.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
If you count watching Netflix on the computer, then yes.
Oh, let's say no, and let's do the screen time. Is that more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
That's less than 8 hours a day. I spend too much time touching people.
Yeah, that sounded different, but I definitely know what you mean. He's a massage therapist, amazing audience. That's what he meant. Well, Healy, if you needed to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
Well, I would say that, being a body worker, I get to see how we are all the same. People lay down in front of me, and I get to see that we're basically all just humans. We're social animals covered in meat suits of different colors and sizes. But deep down, we're all human, and we need each other. If we all felt more connected to the world in a way that was recognizing each other as just people, I think we could make a big shift in how we treat each other.
Love it. Healy, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Get out there and be physical. Use your body and do something that scares you, because in the end, that's where you're going to find some growth and some happiness. Something that scares you and you push past that and you find that your limits are the ones that you set for yourself.
Healy Winter, this was a great pleasure. Thank you, my friend, for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
All right, Daniel, thank you very much.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.